back to my channel. I hope that you're doing well. Welcome to another video. I am a little bit nervous to be filming this video because this is going to challenge me, and I'm not sure I'm ready for that necessarily. But today I am going to be filming my These Books Will Self-Destruct in 12 Months video. I have seen Becca from the Books do this on her channel. I will link that video as well as her channel down below, as well as Caitlin from the Lit Review. She has done this video as well, and I absolutely adore Caitlin. She is such a fun spirit, and I love watching her videos. She makes great content, and she has a wonderful TBR game that I love to watch, as well as Becca. So if you guys aren't already following her, I will leave her channel information in the description box below. Please go check her out. She's wonderful. But yes, I am very excited and nervous to be filming this video. So without further ado, I have 10 books here that if I don't read in the next 12 months, I'm going to have to unhaul. I have tried to separate them via genre, so I'm hoping that this will be a little bit easier to explain to you why these books are on my list for today. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in. So I'm going to start with the books here to my left. And both of these are just like regular contemporary books that I figured would fit well into this genre, I guess. This one also fits, but the first one I have is Blessing in Disguise by Danielle Steele. I said this in my haul when I talked about this book, but I did not pick up this book for myself. I bought it for my grandma, and she already read it, so I decided to add it to my shelves. But I don't want it taking up space if I'm not going to read it. I don't know what it's about. These books never have like a... Does it have a synopsis? No, it doesn't. The back is just her picture, and then it's the book. So I have no idea what this, I have no idea what this is about, and my grandma really loves these books, so I'm hoping that there's something good to them. I just don't know. So this is a book that I'm hoping to get to in the next 12 months, but we'll have to see. All right, the next book that I have here is Sisters by Choice by Suzanne Mallory. This is a book that I picked up at Ralph's one day with my grandma, actually, and it sounded good when I read about it. I don't really know what it's about now. It's been a while since I picked it up, but it just sounds like a nice sisterly contemporary, but I have just had no desire to pick this up. This was actually one of my picks for my TBR jar in my April TBR, and I just didn't get around to it. So it's just not a book that necessarily calls me, and not a book that I want to pick up right this moment. So hopefully I can finish this sometime soon, but we'll have to see. All right, and then we have Runaway by Harlan Coben. This is a book that I picked up at a library book sale, and I've heard a couple people talk about this, and they have had pretty good reviews. However, I just watched, I don't know whose video it was, but they were talking about this book and they DNF'd it. So this is a book about a father whose daughter has been MIA for a while, and he ends up seeing her somewhere, and he kind of gets pulled into this crazy life that she is a part of, where it's just very dark. I don't really know too much more than that. I've heard good things, I've heard not so good things, so we'll have to see. But again, this is another book that just hasn't been pulling me towards it, and for that reason I haven't picked it up. And then we have a nonfiction that my sister has highly recommended for me to read, and that is Women Who Run with Wolves. And she said that every woman should read this, but this is one of those books that the font is like so tiny, the page is so long, and it just seems very daunting to read, and that is one of the biggest reasons why I haven't picked this up. I have had this on TBR before and didn't get around to it, and so I'm hoping that putting this on this video will help me to read it and get through it. I don't think this is a book that I could read in one sitting down cover to cover. I think this is a book that I just have to span out over some time and just really dedicate myself to reading it, but I haven't had the urge to do so. So we will see if I push myself to do this, but I really want to read it because she speaks so highly of this book. So then we have two fantasies. These are, I think one is adult and one is YA, that I just have not had the need to pick up anytime soon. And that is Year One by Nora Roberts. Again, I got this at a library book sale. I don't know too much about it. This is another book that has no synopsis. So I don't know what this is about, but I've heard good things. Mostly. I don't think I've heard a bad review about this book. It just hasn't been a book that has caught my attention enough for me to want to put it on my TBR and read it. So, I don't really know. I feel like a lot of these books I haven't been pulled to, and that's the reason why I put them on this list. And this is definitely one. It's not that I'm afraid of reading it, it just hasn't caught my attention. And then we have Defiance by C.J. Redwine. And this is a book that my sister gave to me out of her collection of books that she didn't want to read anymore. And I think the reason that I'm having such a hard time picking this book up is because another book that my sister lent me was, what is that book called? I've scrubbed it from my memory because I hated it so much. What is that called? The Falconer. And I hated it. So I'm really nervous to pick up another book. I know that has nothing to do with the other. They're both different authors, different types of genre. Not really, they're both fantasy, but they're just different. I don't know, because of that, I have been putting off reading this book, but I don't think that it's going to be bad. Again, it's another book that I don't know too much about, but I mean, we'll see if I can get to this. I like the cover, it's intriguing, but I don't know. All right, the second to the last set of books that I have here are books that overall just overwhelm me, and that is classics. So the two books that I have on here, I have some more classics on here, but I am more drawn to those classics than the ones that I have here. And the first one is Catch-22 by Joseph Heller. This is a book that I read in high school, but never finished it, and so I don't know. I want to read books that I read in high school and see if my thoughts change now that I'm no longer in a school setting. So that's the reason why I picked this one up. I want to read it, but I don't know. I just haven't, again, been pulled to do so. And the next one is Fahrenheit 451. This is another book that has been recommended a lot in regards to classics, but this is a book that I did not read in high school. And I don't really know too much of what it's about. I know that it has to do with a firefighter whose job is to get rid of illegal books, and then he meets a man, I believe, and he has a story in his life that pertains to books, and it's kind of making him second guess his career and why he does it. So I think that's what this book is about, but I don't know for sure, and this is another book that I just haven't been ultimately drawn to. And the last two books that I'm going to talk about are in the genre that probably scares me the most, and that is sci-fi. I don't know, the idea of science in a book scares me because it's just very hard for me to wrap my head around. I'm not the smartest tool in the shed, if you know what I mean. And so it's kind of, I have a feeling that this is just going to be a genre that is just hard for me to understand. And so I have two books that are in that genre that I've decided to pick for this video, and that is The Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey. I've heard mixed reviews now about this series now that I've done a little bit more research. Some people like it, some people don't. This is a book that was released quite a while ago, and so I've heard people say that the age of this book definitely shows, and that doesn't really scare me away. I'm more worried about the sci-fi aspect of this book, and yeah, that pretty much is all that scares me. I don't know anything about what this book is about, and that's like a reoccurring theme, I feel like, but there's also no synopsis, so that could also be another reason as to why I have no idea what this book is about. But we will have to see if I can get to this. I feel like this is going to be one of those books that really tests me. Not only is it big, but it's scary, so we'll have to see. And the last book that I'm going to talk about in this video is Recursion by Blake Crouch. This is a book that I was very excited to pick up at a library book sale. However, this is another book that just hasn't pulled me in just yet. It is, from what I heard, a sci-fi book, and I think that's the reason why I haven't picked it up. I just know that I don't know, I feel like I'm gonna struggle. But I have heard that Blake Crouch has a way of writing things so they're fast-paced, understandable, so I feel like if there's a sci-fi that I'm going to like out of the many sci-fis that there is, I feel like this is going to be it. So we will have to test that theory if I get around to reading this. I have high hopes for this book. It just scares me a bit. So that's it. Those are all 10. I'm gonna grab them for you guys so you can see them all together, and then I'm going to pray that the next 12 months are nice to me. All right, those are all of the books that I'm putting on this video. These books will self-destruct in 12 months if I do not get to them. 12 months seems like a long time, but if you think about this year and how quickly it has gone by, 5 months already into the year, I just know that the next 12 months are gonna fly by, and I'm hoping that I can get to all of these before that time is up. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope this has given you some push to read some of the books that have been on your TBR for a while, or books that you are scared of or haven't been drawn to. I am hoping that that does this for me. If you guys haven't checked out the videos that have inspired this one, I will of course leave those in the description below. Please go check those out, support those channels. And yeah, that is it. That is the end of this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and of course leave any comments, questions, and suggestions in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!